have survived the playoffs. It is title time. One final race.
In one final stage, Brett Moffitt leads our championship contingent. Justin Haley, Noah Gragson, and Johnny Sauter the furthest back.
And Vince, when Johnny Sauter came down pit road, Joe Shear Jr., the crew chief, said it best. He said, Johnny, we do not have a shot like we're running. Made a pretty big change. You can see the right side tires going on. No problem here, but watch the left rear tire changer. He's taking the tire off. Jack goes up. Okay, he's sticking his head inside the fender well in his hands to put a spring rubber in the left rear. You see the delay. Now the left rear tire going on. Usually a big chance or big change on pit road, but good job to the team. They only lost really one spot, and they took a swing at it. We'll see if it plays out for the 21.
Well, to take a big swing, that was the time to do it, right?
I certainly applaud Joe Shear Jr. and this team for taking this chance. And now I'm going to be interested to see if it doesn't work. Do they indeed short pit? Run like 20 laps and come to pit road. Take a chance, because you've got to mix it up. You can't win the race if you do what the leaders do.
Remember, everybody from this point on has 2 sets of tires in the pits, and it depends on when they're going to put them on. They would ideally love to have a fresh set of tires if we get a caution inside of 10 to go.
Well, and they definitely all have to make at least one more stop. Stage 3 underway. Brett Moffitt on the outside. Noah Gragson inside. Gragson with another great jump.
How about Sheldon Creed and that 2 truck?
We saw the same thing at Texas, didn't we, Phil? He drove that 2 truck to the front. He doesn't care about any championship battle. He wants to win him a race.
Gragson leads while Creed pulls alongside Moffitt for second. Remember, Sheldon Creed, the rookie, ARCA champion, won 4 times in the ARCA series, but he doesn't drive it like a rookie. He has been fast in each of his appearances here this season.
Yeah, rookie's only run 4 races this year. He's a very raw rookie, but a great job in the ARCA Racing Series. And doing a great job here tonight, racing Grant Enfinger right now for the 3rd spot.
And just behind them, Justin Haley in that 24 truck, currently second in the or 3rd in the championship 4.
He might not have to wait an hour to tell us how those changes work, Phil. He's already charging up there toward the top 5.
Cheer on the restart on the right-hand side of the screen of the 97 of Jesse Little. Of a 4 wide, a little bit of sandwich in the middle for the 97, and very tight with Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, started near the top 5 and falling all the way back to 13th in a very fast 97 truck. Oh, was that wall contact there off turn 2?
With Nemechek, he lost some momentum for sure, as Matt Crafton's going to drive by him.
That's for 7th. Now Nemechek pulling back alongside. Didn't lose that spot for long.
Yeah, he lost momentum, so he's able to really drive it down into the corner and take care of Matt Crafton there.
John Hunter Nemechek running the Xfinity Series race tomorrow. The extra laps in.
Saw a little bit of a mark on the right rear bumper, so I think he did get into the outside wall, possibly off turn 2.
Johnny Sauter still trying to make up ground outside the top 10.
There's Myatt Snyder's gotten up to the 11th position. Johnny's going to look to the bottom there. Ross Chastain, a couple guys we talked about at the start. And look at this battle for the lead.
Brett Moffitt starting to heat up Noah Gragson. Moffitt's led 27 laps tonight. Grant Enfinger, who runs 3rd, has led the most. From the pole, Enfinger led 33. Moffitt led 27. Gregson's been in front for a short while tonight as well.
Guys, we restarted with about 67 laps to go. I think I would try to cut this in half. Michael, you talked about going 20 laps. I think I would put this about halfway, go about 32 laps, pit somewhere around lap 100, and then if we go green the rest of the way, then I'm going to have fresher tires than the guys that stay out any more laps than I did.
Your leader, Noah Gragson, Won just one race this season. Gragson, the only one of the championship 4 who has not won in the playoffs. The other 3 championship contenders, Moffitt, Haley, and Sauter, have won the last 3 races. Gragson, you got to go all the way back to May in Kansas for his lone win this season.
What kind of track is Kansas?
Oh, that's a mile and a half.
Mile and a half. There you go.
All 4 of the championship
That's
contenders
right.
have won on mile and a half this season. But Gragson really statistically has been lights out on the mile and a half. He's led the most laps on the mile and a half, but just doesn't really have the results to show for it.
Just hasn't finished it off. And all the guys say, we've talked about it before, they say this is the most challenging mile and a half that we have on the circuit.
Sauter trying to work on Ben Rhodes now. That's for 10th. Remember, Johnny Sauter, they took the opportunity during that pit stop to make major changes, not only in chassis adjustment, but put a spring rubber in that left rear. Trying to help the handling of this truck.
The previous lap, Johnny Sauter was the 5th fastest truck on the racetrack. So I think that truck is better, but he's just stuck behind so much traffic right now.
Yeah, and he's trying to work the bottom, and he just can't get the momentum it takes to complete passes. You can see Ben Rhodes there ducking to the bottom on Harrison Burton. In that 51 truck, they fall along behind Matt Crafton, but you can see Rhodes dives deep in the corner, does the slide job up to the top, and disposes of the 51 truck.
And does it hurt Sauter? And Johnny will admittedly say that the top isn't really where he's comfortable. That's not really his style, but here, you might need that, right?
But he's won at this racetrack before on this configuration, so Johnny Sauter's been able to get it done. We talk about last year. You mentioned how loose he was at the start of the race last year. They made changes, and he rebounded and finished 3rd in that race, 2nd in the championship.
Moffitt continues to heat up the back bumper of Noah Gragson.
Yeah, he fell off Gragson a few truck lengths the last lap, but this time about a 10th faster than Noah and closed that ground back up.
Moffitt's got a couple of mile-and-a-half wins this season, victorious at Atlanta and Chicago. Is there a mile-and-a-half track that's most similar to Miami?
I would guess
Chicago, maybe.
And also would say Atlanta a little bit. I know the banking is different at Atlanta, but the grip level is a whole lot the same at those 2 places. So I would compare those.
And a lot of the guys say this is the exact same combination of left and right side tires that these trucks ran at Chicago as well.
Robbie Lyons, I think, jumped the cushion there into the outside wall, got into pit road, so no caution. And when I say no caution, Vince, just keep in mind, these green flag pit stops that could come up if the caution don't fly are going to be the key to success here tonight. And Phil, this is a very difficult pit road to get down onto when you exit turn 4 and getting to pit road speed. The transition from the bank to the flat is abrupt. So we'll have to watch closely to make sure these guys get down to pit road speed when they enter.
Will a mistake take one of our championship contenders out?
That's what you have to ask yourself. And I think you got to be a bit conservative if you're these 2. They know they've got the 2 trucks to win the championship. Looks like Brett's a little bit faster than Noah right now. Can't get the pass. I think these guys have to miss their pit road speed by a couple of miles an hour underneath. Can't be taking a chance.
2 of the championship contenders, they are going side by side for the lead. We're going to take a break, but you won't miss a move. Going to keep on trucking.
There we go, broken lap, 3, 2, 1. There we go, 4 tires.
There's a line in the NASCAR playoffs.
He picked up quick.
One that transforms a driver into a hero.
It is the perfect backdrop for an elimination race. Bottom line, survive it.
And to cross it first,
No excuses, no mistakes.
they have to lay it all on the line.
Chuck Norris? Can you sign my Tacoma?
I'll be glad to.
From the fist of a legend rises a new action star. A hero who's there to save the day and the night. So fearless, so rugged, he's tough as Chuck.
You replaced me with a truck?
Toyota, let's go places.
On February 17th, the stage will be set for racing's greatest day. A day to witness history, to feel the intensity, make lasting memories, and be on the edge of your seat. This is the day you've been waiting for. This is the Daytona 500. The greatest race awaits. Experience the Daytona 500 in person. Guarantee your seats before they sell out at Daytona500.com.
We're here for one reason. Ezekiel Elliott leads the Cowboys against Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Touchdown! Then in America's Game of the Week, an NFC showdown awaits. We want to be good. We want to be good. Carson Wentz and the Eagles. What a play! Touchdown! Take on Drew Brees and the Saints. Dominant for Drew Brees. It all starts with Fox NFL kickoff, followed by Week 11, Sunday on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
You've watched it during the commercial break. Brett Moffitt has continued to challenge Noah Gragson for the lead, but Gragson has managed to hold him off. And it's not just Moffitt sizing up Gragson. The 18 teams keeping an eye on the 16 as well.
He's starting to straddle the top seam both ends, making a little bit of ground. Straddling top by 2. Good versus him. He tried to run the bottom. That's fine. You can run between the seam down there. Just can't get hung up on him. Got to be disciplined about hitting it right.
The 18 still a little bit tight through the center, but you heard the spotter, Tony Hirschman. They are trying to make the 16 truck of Brett Moffitt use up his right front tire as much as possible. We'll see as we got a great battle for the lead, Alan.
And silence on the radio from Brett Moffitt. Nearly this entire race, they are just coaching him on the radio. He's got a great truck. They tell him, do not overdrive it, trying to coach him around the 18 truck right here. They've got a good truck. They want to keep it that way. As he goes for the lead, down in the corner past Noah Gragson, the other championship competitor.
Wow, Moffitt edged ahead, but Gregson's not giving it up easy, and they continue side by side, one up top and the other on the bottom.
And I just think there's a little bit more speed for Noah. He's tight through the center. He says, I believe he just takes a chance, moves up another half truck length. There could be some more speed up there for him. He's able to hold off Brett, but clearly Moffitt's the faster of the two trucks right now.
How difficult is it to not overdrive when you're one of those guys?
I just think maybe he wants to try to go up just a little bit higher, enter higher, run the rim a little bit more. I think there's more speed up there. It's risky, I know, but you can clearly see that Moffitt has his number right now. They're toe-to-toe fighting this thing out.
But just as Tony Hirschman, his spotter, said, be disciplined. Do not get on those seams. You can straddle them, you can get above them, but do not get hung up on the seams.
Like a couple of heavyweights, they've just been going at it, like standing in the middle of the ring, slugging it out for lap after lap.
But unlike the boxing match, Vince, they look in the mirror. Here comes Grant Enfinger. He says, y'all box all you want. I'm just here to win a race. And he's closing on our leaders, the fastest truck the last 3 or 4 laps by.
Matt Crafton, see him in the bright yellow 88, getting past Justin Haley. That's for 7th.
And the same issues continue to plague the 24. He fires off good. We saw him gain a few positions after that restart, but he's starting to fall back again. And guys, the laps are going to start running out here soon.
That's right, Alan. And if I'm that team, I got to start thinking about taking a chance and maybe come to pit road a little early and see if you can catch a break with the caution flag flying.
Remember, they have to make one more stop. Everybody's got to make another stop. Can't get to the end from here. The 51 of Harrison Burton, the 21 of Johnny Sauter, 10th and 11th. Sauter made a big change, Hermie.
He's been loose all night, Vince. We've seen them run the track bar down on the right side about as far as they can. They put a spring rubber in the left rear, and guess what? The last report from Johnny Sauter is it's plowing tight. So they've gone too far on the 21. Not to mention the fact he's way too far back in traffic to mount a charge.
Got to be frustrating for the 2016 Series champ, Johnny Sauter. Meanwhile, at the top, it's Noah Gragson continuing to lead Brett Moffitt.
Noah has a huge lead. Now it's about 2.5 truck lengths.
He's doubled the size of
Brett
his
Moffitt's
advantage.
been underneath him, been up his tailgate.
You think Noah said, thank you for going away for a minute. Let me get my breath here.
Look at Grant Enfinger moving in, though. He's closed it to about a second off these guys.
They've gapped the rest of the field, these three. They're up by nearly 4 seconds. Ooh, look at Moffitt. He's to the bottom.
for the lead. Brett Moffitt challenging Noah Gragson again, but again Gragson gets the drive off the corner and leads the lap. Gragson just continues to answer every shot from the 16 of Moffitt.
You heard in the pit report before the race, we trained you, Noah Gragson, to go win this race. We're a championship team. We've taught you what you need to know to be champion. He's proven that he's a pretty good student right now.
And Noah Gragson, even though they have not won some of the races they felt like they should have, they've won stage 1, they've won stage 2, and then not been able to close the deal in stage 3 too many times for his liking or crew chief Rudy Fugel. But Gragson said, we're confident. We believe we can come here and win. Just because we have won only once this season doesn't diminish our expectations or our confidence for this championship.
Look at those lap trucks just diving out of the way. They know what's coming, and they know what's on the line here, and they didn't want to be a part of that.
Grant Enfinger now is closed up on Brett Moffitt. You see Brett only about 3 truck lengths ahead of Grant Enfinger.
At what point does Brett, I think you're starting to see him creep up the track. At what point, Phil, does he have to run up? Oh, and look how close to the wall.
And loose.
Run up on the high lane to try to get a run off with the momentum. He's going to have to change something up. Been trying for 20 laps to pass him, and he can't.
Take a look at our Ford track facts and Ford Championship Week. It is a special weekend here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. The Truck Series Championship tonight, Xfinity Series Championship on Saturday. The Monster Energy Cup Series title will be decided on Sunday.
You can see those 6 truck runs here at Homestead, and Grant Enfinger said, I'm going to make it 7 tonight. Let me see if I can get by Brett Moffitt for second.
Enfinger has led the most laps tonight, did it from the pole, and now he's challenging Enfinger for second.
Look at
Dives
that
to the bottom. And gets the spot.
You don't think he rode back there about a second? Oh, he got loose.
Gathered it up, and Moffitt's going to try to steal it back.
He's not riding anymore, is he? He's up on his horse.
But maybe he rode back there about a second behind those guys while they were racing side by side for so many laps, saved his tires a little bit, then made the move. But here comes Brett fighting back on the inside, and he's going to get that spot back.
Moffitt back to second.
I tell you who loves watching that battle in his rearview mirror, that's Noah Gragson. The more that Moffitt has to deal with Enfinger means he's not bothering me. Wow, that's an impressive lap or two there for Moffitt. He was passed, he made the pass back, and is driven away from Enfinger.
Less than a second behind the leader, Noah Gragson, and Enfinger, who was challenging for second just a moment ago, has slipped back now. Starts to try to gather himself again and make another run at Moffitt.
Phil, how long before we come to pit road? We're nearing a point where we're going to split this segment.
I think I'm going to pit around lap 100. I'm going to split this last stage in half, come in around lap 100. Then if the caution flag were to come out and catch me a lap down, I can take the wave around and be back on the lead lap. Or if we go green the rest of the way, I want to have pressure tires every single lap more than my competitors that I can.
Gragson has run the top portion of the racetrack every lap this stage, while Moffitt has done a lot of work on the bottom of the track. And lap after lap that Moffitt has thrown a haymaker at Gragson, Gragson has answered and has not relinquished the lead.
Guys, if Brett Moffitt can get to pit road 1 lap before Noah Gragson and they have equal pit stops, that would be enough to get him the lead here that he's tried to get for the last 35 laps.
This is where the decision-making of the crew chiefs starts to play a major factor. And there's one of the best right there. Rudy Fugel, a 5-time champion as a crew chief. Kyle Busch, team owner, up on the box.
There's the Brett Moffitt team.
I'm a little bit confused about Moffitt, Phil. He lost that second spot, and then it's like his truck just picked up again. I think he was trying to run that higher groove on entry to try to maybe make a different line to take the lead. It didn't work. He dropped back, and now he's gone back to the bottom, and he's looking to complete this pass. Can he do the slide job?
For the lead, Moffitt right in front of Gragson, and Gragson crosses over. Gragson leads the lap again.
Down, he'll be on your corner here. Don't get too shallow entry. Lappers will be Tyson. Clear it.
What about this championship battle, guys?
Gregson's going to return the favor, do a slide job on Moffitt.
Moffitt closes the door, or Gregson closes the door, but Moffitt comes right back up side by side again. The battle for the lead continues here at Homestead.
And this is with 36 laps to go.
And another pit stop coming and lap traffic ahead.
Moffitt's got the advantage. The lappers playing a role here.
I think if I lose the lead like Gregson, I'm going to come to pit road.
I agree with you, Michael. Yes, sir.
He doesn't have the long run speed of Brett Moffitt. He needs to pit. Try to take advantage of new tires.
Because I can run 2.5 seconds faster a lap for a few laps on those new tires. See, Rudy's on the radio talking.
Is he calling him in?
I think I got a tire going down.
Communication.
That was Gregson saying he thinks he had a tire going down. Shame he couldn't get to pit road right there.
I thought he was coming. I thought he was coming to pit road.
Boy, and now Gregson, you see, easing up, and now he's going to be coming to pit road this time. Cannot take any chances.
Not sure if I'm Moffitt. I wouldn't listen to that radio transaction between those two and pit this lap for Brett Moffitt. You've got to monitor what your competition's doing when you can and try to take advantage of their decisions.
No mistakes. Cannot make any mistakes on this pit stop.
The final stop of the night for Noah Gregson.
Right, all yellows. Right.
The championship may well depend on it. Hermie Sadler is waiting on the 18.
They went from being too loose to being too tight. So you heard it on the radio. A right rear tire, he believed, was going down. They preached to Noah coming down pit road, be conservative on your pit road speed. We need to nail this stop. Somebody will probably make a mistake during this cycle, and we cannot let it be us. Right sides are done, left sides are on. Air pressure adjustment, the 18 goes down the way. Here comes the 16 down pit road as well, and the 98.
The 16, the original call was to come in at lap 10, but everything changed once the 18 of Noah Gregson came down pit road. Brett Moffitt, the leader in the 16 truck, coming down pit road with 4 tires and what they hope is the final stop of the night.
Well, remember, Moffitt got a speeding penalty last week at Phoenix early in the race, recovered to actually win. But, boy, you cannot afford a mistake of any kind at this stage.
But a great call by Scott Zipadelli to bring Brett Moffitt to pit road the very next lap. He didn't want to give up those 2.5 seconds a lap for very many laps.
Yeah, because he had gapped Gregson when Noah thought he had a flat tire, so that gave them a perfect opportunity to run 1 lap longer than the rest and then hit pit road.
And Johnny Sauter brings the 21 for his final stop. They just haven't been able to get that truck in the sweet spot area to help Johnny drive it to the front tonight. They've got one more chance.
See his tack there. He's just bumping up against red.
Johnny Sauter, 2 right side tires going on. You see another track bar adjustment for the 21. Bagging some of that adjustment back out. Left side's going up. They have just struggled with this race truck all night long from too loose, now too tight, trying to find something for this final stretch, Alan.
And Justin Haley spent most of that run tight, but he is in the pits now. Toward the end of this run, he got excited on the radio. He says the truck has found grip. You could hear the sense coming back to him that he has a truck that can compete for this win, for this title. The crew chief just saying, be careful on this pit stop. Don't do anything wrong, and we will get out there and get you to the front of the field.
So far, the stops have been clean for our championship contenders. Haley's team finishing up its work on the 24.
Don't you just love those teams choreographing the job they do, getting those tires back to the wall, just so precise, and everyone battling for the lead, fighting for this championship, had great stops.
And the 16 of Brett Moffitt continues, even though Moffitt runs third officially. The 2 trucks ahead of him will have to come to pit road yet.
But look at the lead he has. That's Grant Enfinger now, the yellow truck. He's actually ahead of Noah Gregson. There's Noah right there. The blue truck is Stuart Friesen.
Friesen was the winner in that exchange. He caught 2nd through 4th by about a couple seconds. So nice job by Stuart.
And Moffitt with about a 3.5 second lead over Gregson. as far as the championship is concerned. And now Moffitt takes that lead back as Jordan Anderson is passed.
That means he really did his job getting to pit road. His guys did a great job on his pit stop and getting off at pit road to give him this big gap he has now.
Brett Moffitt closing in on his first championship. Brett Moffitt continues to lead at Homestead-Miami Speedway in the Ford EcoBoost 200, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the championship race, the finale in this season, and Moffitt has been out front for 36 laps. Grant Enfinger has been out front for his share, more than 30. Noah Gregson's been out front for 34. It's been a very balanced race at the front, but right now Moffitt by nearly 2 seconds.
And Vince, virtual silence this entire race from Brett Moffitt on the radio. Look at those eyes. Look at the focus. That focus actually started last week in Phoenix after they won that race. People told him, Brett Moffitt told me this week, that he almost looked unhappy at Phoenix. And he said that's because he started thinking about Homestead almost immediately. That focus has gone all throughout the week and throughout this race. Nothing on the radio from him, just encouragement from his team as he tries to get this title with 22 to go, Hermie.
Noah Gregson third, almost 5 seconds behind the leader, Brett Moffitt. We've heard tonight from the crew chief, Rudy Fugel, the spotter, Tony Hirschman. The pressure is building. And now we've heard from truck owner Kyle Busch.
All on you, brother. It's up to you, man. We got to dig in. You got to give us everything you got here. Just like Martinsville when you drove away from that field, man. This is up to you.
They know it's desperation time for the 18. 20 to go. He's got some ground to make up, Vince.
Desperation for the 18. What can he do? Phil, I'll ask that of you. And Michael, how about the leader, Brett Moffitt? He's got about a 4-second lead from a championship perspective. What should Moffitt do? Phil, first on to Gregson.
I think if there's some speed up there in that last half a whip away from the wall, Noah Gregson probably needs to go up there and see if that speed is there. We know there's speed there. We've seen it happen so many times. Kyle Larson runs with that right rear quarter panel up against the wall. That's probably the only thing he can do. Now he's 4.5 seconds behind that 16 of Brett Moffitt. He's going to have to do something with only 20 laps to go, Michael.
I love what I'm seeing Brett Moffitt do right now. We've seen him dedicated to the bottom all throughout the first half of this race, but now he's searching around. I think he has a 1.5 second lead over second place, and it's given him the opportunity to feel out the higher groove, go to the bottom, go to the top. He's used different lanes all the last 5 or 6 laps, mostly running the top side. He's preparing for a late race battle to the checkered if the caution were to fly.
You saw the Camping World 20 to go, just inside of that now as Brett Moffitt leads the race and the championship.
Last time he was on the wall, that time down on the apron. So he's just checking his truck out to make sure he's ready for any battle.
He lost a 1/4 second that time to our second place runner, Grant Enfinger. Still has a comfortable 4.2 second lead over Noah Gregson. He knows that the battle and the war are 2 different things. He can afford possibly to lose that lead to Grant Enfinger. Doesn't want to do that, but he knows he has to keep that 18 truck behind him. There's Grant Enfinger. He's running faster laps each and every lap, guys, than Brett Moffitt is.
As is Noah Gregson in this 18 truck. Last time by, the fastest truck on the track. That's been the trend lately. He's cut it to nearly just 4 seconds. Going to have a caution, though, if he's going to get in contention.
Well, and Justin Haley and Johnny Sauter, their championship hopes, I mean, if it stays green, you can just about forget it. I mean, they need a caution, and they need something drastic to happen for them to all of a sudden put themselves in championship contention, yet with just 18 to go.
And you're right, Vince. If the caution were to come out, you cannot afford to stay on the racetrack. I don't even think you can afford to put 2 tires on. You got to come to pit road. You got to be mistake-free and maybe rely on your pit crew to gain you some spots.
Sauter, you see, as you ride on board, runs 12th. Haley up ahead in 8th. Just hasn't been the kind of night Johnny Sauter needed. Hasn't had the truck from the drop of the green flag. Was crazy loose. Then they made a big swing, took a big swing at it, and they went to the other side of the fence and now fight tight.
Well, and his GMS teammate, Justin Haley, no speed either. So just a setup that they were confident about, and it just doesn't appear to be working.
But a couple other their teammates are running 4th and 5th right now. Stuart Friesen, the 52, and they're the 2 right there of Sheldon Creed, a rookie here running 5th.
Another impressive performance from the ARCA champ. Sheldon Creed.
That's the line I was talking about, that maybe Noah Gragson needs to jump up there and see if there's a couple tenths up there right next to the wall.
Gragson has cut that deficit down to just under 4 seconds, so he's definitely gaining. A little too late, though.
Yeah, with 15 laps remaining, you can't wait any longer, can you?
No, it's time to go, Vince. Put it on the fence and take a chance. Matt Crafton's been impressive. We talked about that 22nd starting position. Throw straight to the front. But he's happened upon a guy running right on that fence and can't make any headway against Sheldon Creed running in 5th.
On board with the race leader, Brett Moffitt. You know, we got a good look of team owner Shiggy Hattori earlier tonight, standing on the pit box, keeping an eye on his driver and his team. Hattori, a former racer in his own right, drove in the IndyCar Series, the Indy 500, actually won a race here in Indy Lights back in the late 90s.
How about that? What a great stat that is.
And he is a racer. There he is, and he is passionate about this team and about this sport.
We documented at the very start of the show, there were times when it didn't look like they were going to have sponsorship to get to the next race, and he kept putting it together, kept coming up with sponsors. Ison is one of his major supporters. They've been on the truck a number of times this year. Shiggy Hattori really deserves a championship.
And we talked about this team. I mean, this is a small team. Crew chief Scott Zipadelli, I mean, he's a guy, he's in there working on the trucks. Less than a dozen employees working on this team to get this 16 truck to the track each week.
And what Scott Zipadelli is thinking about right now is what if the caution flies? How late will they come to pit road to get 4 tires if we have a late race caution? He has to be prepared for whatever happens. Moffitt's doing his job on the track, running high, running low. Zipadelli's got to make sure that he has strategy for a late race restart.
And he's watching the number of trucks on the lead lap. Right now we have 13 trucks on the lead lap. The 4 of Todd Gillen is the last truck on the lead lap. I think right now, for sure, if he thinks that we're going to have at least 5 laps of a restart, I think you got to come and put tires on.
And you know what? It's never happened easy for Brett Moffitt. He's bounced around this sport for many years, even though he's just 26 years old. He's won races on late restarts. He's been up front and closed the deal. I'm sure he would love it just to remain green and cruise to the checkered, but what will happen if the caution does fly and he has to go to work?
Yeah, Moffitt had never made a truck series start here at Homestead. It made a couple of cup starts, but had never made a truck series start here. And as you said, always seemed to find his way, trying to find his way. He and Scott Zipadelli worked together for the first time back in 2011 in the Xfinity Series race, and they had become good friends. And Moffitt saying he and Zipadelli are friends first, and driver and coach and crew chief second. And this would mean so much to them in their relationship as friends, much less as driver and crew chief. 10 to go for the championship, and Brett Moffitt.
Well, right now, Scott Zipadelli on pins and needles, saying, please, no caution. We have a 2-second lead now over Grant Enfinger. Please, no caution. Let's just go green to the end of this thing.
And not just a 2-second lead over Enfinger, but a 5-second lead over Noah Gragson for the championship.
There's Zipadelli, and we talked about Gragson making some ground early, but he's beginning to lose it now as we come down to 9 to go. This is some tense time on pit road. Brett Moffitt is so focused and steady on his job, he's just reeling off laps. That team all just hope this thing goes green to the checkered.
Moffitt saying that Scott Zipadelli does such a great job of getting the truck to be its best late in the race. Sometimes they roll off, they're not quite as good as they need to be, or even the first stage or the second stage. But Moffitt said we always seem to be our best at the end. But they have been pretty darn good from the get-go tonight.
It's been impressive, and it started this morning at 8:30, Vince, when they hit the track for practice. He was clearly the fastest truck on average this morning, but that's tough, Phil, when you've got a truck that good in the morning. How will it be when it gets dark, and how will it handle under the differing conditions? That truck has been flawless all day long.
Remember, Johnny Sauter was our fastest truck in the first practice session, but that was a mock qualifying run. Started this race just like last year, really, really loose, and they really haven't caught up with it.
7 laps remaining. for Brett Moffitt. A five-time winner this season. So many of his victories, 6 career wins, so many of them have come with dramatics in the final lap. But tonight, he's walking the dog on him. Almost a 2-second lead on Infinger, a 5-second advantage on Gregson.
He wants no drama in the last lap here, I can assure you of that.
The first 3 trucks last time by all ran within 1/100th of a second of each other. Certainly Moffitt understands what the competition's doing and isn't going to take any chances as we head toward the checkered.
Gregson just not able to cut into that deficit. 6 laps remaining.
1 to 2, dead nut center.
There's Todd Gillen, the 4 truck going a lap down. That will leave us with 12 trucks on the lead lap. Johnny Sauter, the truck running 12th right now.
You've seen the confidence in Brett Moffitt build throughout the course of the season, and this entire team as they've overcome the adversity of struggling with funding and having difficult circumstances greet them at the racetrack during various race weeks. But they've overcome and they've performed, and with those performances have come confidence.
That's exactly right. And as they march toward the championship, just the focus you could see in Brett Moffitt's eyes and the way they work together, he and Scott Zipadelli, it's just been really impressive. Back when Brett drove for us at Michael Waltrip Racing, his father, Dick, who can't bear to watch right now, he was looking for a little help from a higher calling, I think, and certainly confident, but has been an instrumental part in Brett's career, getting him started and helping him get to NASCAR.
And I think that's a great shot because it just goes to show the nerves that Dad is feeling, and then also what this means to their entire family, people beyond the cockpit. A championship means so much.
I'm just so happy that they've raced to this position. We talked about the challenges, the late race drama. Just getting to the track at times has been a challenge for this team, but they've stuck together, they stuck it out, and they can taste a championship.
Vince, we talk all the time in the last few weeks. He hasn't had back-to-back top 10 finishes since Barnesville back in March. Well, how about that round of 6 that he put together? A first, a second, and a third, and he may finish that off with another first here.
Brett Moffitt. It's been a dominant performance for Moffitt. Well, near contact behind him that would have brought out a caution. Moffitt definitely doesn't want to see that.
That's Justin Fontaine. He's been tracking Moffitt the last 10 laps. Justin making his last start.
2 laps remaining for Brett Moffitt. Oh, Chris Wyndham got into the wall in that 54 truck, but the green remains out.
Hold it up there, hold it up there, hold it up there.
Looks like the right front tire may be down on that 54 truck.
Get down.
Hope it doesn't start coming apart here before we get to the white flag.
Moffitt's got to get to the start-finish line.
Brett Moffitt coming to the white flag and takes it. 1 lap remaining for Brett Moffitt. Moffitt says the championship won't make a difference in regards to how he is as a driver. Just winning a championship doesn't make him a better driver, or not winning the championship make him less of a driver. But he said, I want that championship for the validation in the record book, that someone can look at all time and see the name Brett Moffitt as NASCAR champion. And he is on his way. Brett Moffitt is going to do it and win the championship. Brett Moffitt is a NASCAR champion.
About now. Nice work, proud of you. Thank you, Brett.
Look at that smile on his You can see how big that smile is on his face behind the shield there.
And the emotion in the eyes of Brett Moffitt. He'd never won a championship in the NASCAR ranks of any sort. And tonight, he is the 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion.
He's going to go through so many emotions thinking about all that he's accomplished. I'm sure he's going to be emotional about the victory, seeing his father in victory lane, honoring the team, Shiggy, and everybody. This is a big moment.
the third time that the Truck Series champion has won the season finale. Got to go all the way back to 1999, the last time it happened with Jack Sprague. But under this format, the only time it's happened where the race winner has clinched the championship in the process. The crew chief, Scott Zipadelli, is with Alan.
Hugs all around in the 16 pit for crew chief Scott Zipadelli. You told us before the race you were the favorite. How does it feel to make it happen?
I mean, we're just so excited. I'm just so proud of this whole organization. Everybody on this team deserves this. This is a total team effort at HRE Enterprises. And we couldn't have done it without Toyota TRD support. They've stuck behind us, and the farther along we got in the season, the better we did. They kept helping us out, and this is just a team sport, and that's how I treated it. And these guys just did an awesome job.
How do you explain this team? It's small, it's underfunded, it's not supposed to be winning championships, and it did. How do you explain that?
You know, we don't have what some of these other teams have, budget-wise, but what we do have is people. We've got the best people, and they all have heart, and I mean, this is it. Brett Moffitt, he's did an amazing job all year. I'm so proud of him, and man, I just hope somebody will come on board and keep this thing rolling, because I'd hate to not to come back next year and try to win a championship with this kid.
Congratulations. Go celebrate with your driver.
That's awesome. You just can see how much it means to Scott.
And Scott Zipadelli, very understated, but you know the emotion that he's experiencing and the joy within his heart to have been the architect of the championship team.
As he mentioned, they don't have a whole bunch of people, but they have some really good people. Mike Ricci, Michael, who you know very well, is over there as team manager. They just do such an outstanding job, and culminates here with a championship.
We didn't have the drama at the end of the race that we often see for a Brett Moffitt win. This was the most convincing of the bunch. But I'm sure that Moffitt, and I can't wait to hear his thoughts about the closing laps and the feelings he must have been experiencing as he brought it down the stretch, knowing that the championship was awaiting him.
And this is the first time since 1999 that our champion won the finale.
And when you have joy, you also have the pain of not winning the championship, and Noah Gragson feels that.
Put him in a position, though, Vince. He's got to be proud of that.
The joy of victory. Brett Moffitt and Hattori Racing celebrating their highest point, champions of the Truck Series. The dejection of not getting it done. Noah Gragson said he wanted to win the championship more for those around him, for those that had given him an opportunity, people like team owner Kyle Busch. But tonight wasn't the night, because it belonged to the driver of that machine, and that is Brett Moffitt. Moffitt led the most laps tonight, 59 laps en route to his 6th win of the season and the championship. Meanwhile, Hermie is with Noah Gragson.
Well, Vince, optimism all day long for the 18. You guys put up a valiant effort. You come up third tonight. What made the difference at the end?
We're just too tight there. Needed to make better adjustments on pit road, and that's where it comes down to me. I need to do a better job, and I don't know, just on the bright side, racing for a championship. I never would have dreamed of that when I started racing 6 years ago, that I'd be in this position with Kyle Busch Motorsports and Safe Light Auto Glass, Toyota, Switch, everybody who helps make this possible. In my last truck race with Kyle Busch Motorsports, man, I wanted to go on top, Hermie, but it just wasn't meant to be. But just can't thank everybody who's helped get me to this point. The Hanley family, Dustin Ash, everybody at Dustin Ash Motorsports back in Las Vegas. Thank you guys. And then Jeff Jefferson, Jerry Pitts, everyone at Jefferson Pitts Racing. Wouldn't be in the position I am right now without you guys. So I give all my credit to that and everyone at Kyle Busch Motorsports. Just a bummer, but hey, no bad days, right? We're gonna move on next year to the Xfinity Series. I'm pumped up about that, but this one's gonna hurt for a while, but just very thankful.
Noah Gragson, he's third tonight, Vince.
third in the race, second in the championship. He'll drive for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Junior Motorsports next season in the Xfinity Series. But a heartbreaker tonight for Noah. Allen is in victory lane with the race winner and the champ, Brett Moffitt.
Brett Moffitt getting the helmet, getting that championship hat on, climbing out. Guys, he's already got a beer in his hand. Brett Moffitt, race winner, your 2018 champion. Brett, you're already taking a nice cold drink. What was that last run like? We barely heard from you on the radio at all, but we could see it in your eyes. What was that last run like for you?
That was the longest 20, 30 laps of my life, but man, I'm glad we could get to the white flag there without a caution and have clean sailing. We had a great Toyota Tundra all day. I just got to thank Ison and Shigetori, TRD, everybody at TRD and how hard they worked for us this last month. They've given us everything possible to make these things fast. And tonight we were able to win the race and win the championship. So,
how do you explain all this? This team, underfunded, small team, continue to win races and now a championship. How do you explain that as a driver?
It's unreal. You know, we all know the story by now where we didn't know if we were going to race the full year. I didn't know if I was going to have the opportunity to compete for a championship even after we got our first win. And everyone pulled together hard here. You know, back at Chicago, we didn't know if we were going to make it to the racetrack, and Marcus with Freight Auction stepped up and got us there. And we've had many partners like that and iRacing all year long that came in at clutch moments and got us to the racetrack when we needed to.
We just saw the battle with Noah Gragson. That was the pivotal moment in this race. You had him, you backed off, then you went up and got him again. How'd that happen?
I just got the tires a little too hot when I was trying to get inside of them the first time, and I didn't probably commit hard enough to the move. And then I kind of let him cool down. I ran the top, tried to get some momentum, and he was kind of backing up, and we could still run the bottom really well, which is unusual for Homestead, but I'll take it.
Keeping that mustache now? Is that the lucky mustache?
I don't know. I think it's going its own way.
That's a championship mustache, guys.
That's probably the best tasting beer he's ever had in his young life. Wouldn't you say, Phil?
Absolutely.
26 years old. Brett Moffitt from Iowa, and has had many highlights in his young career, but none quite as high as this one. The pinnacle of the Truck Series championship. Finishes up with his 6th win of the season. It doesn't have a ride yet for next year. Doesn't have a deal put together. And boy, if there's anybody that deserves one, I think Brett Moffitt showed tonight he's worth anyone's investment.
Yeah, what an outstanding season by that entire team, Brett. We knew that Brett Moffitt had the talent as a driver, but we paired him with Scott Zipadelli and Mike Creech and all the guys over there with Shigetori, and they made some magic.
Brett Moffitt from Grimes, Iowa, celebrating tonight in South Florida. He's the Camping World Truck Series champion for 2018. He did it in dominating fashion. He raises his hand as the champ. He'll celebrate it forever. Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series post-race show. The Ford EcoBoost 200 goes to Brett Moffitt. Not only does Moffitt win the race, but he wins the championship in the process. And what a great scene it is down there around that 16 truck. The different media outlets, fans with an opportunity, well-wishers.
Matt Crafton right there came up on stage to congratulate Brett Moffitt.
Ben Kennedy standing there.
Let's go downstairs for our championship presentation as Noah Gragson gives Brett Moffitt a congratulatory handshake along with Scott Zipadelli as well. And to handle the ceremony, here's our Caitlin Vincey.
Well, Vince, this is the moment that these teams fight for all season long, is a spot here on this championship stage, but only one team can be here, and tonight it is Brett Moffitt. And to join us in the championship presentation is Tamara Ward, the Executive Vice President of Corporate Development for Camping World. Last race for Camping World as the series title sponsor, with Gander Outdoors coming into the mix. What's your takeaways from the season and what you saw out of Brett Moffitt, Tamara?
You know, we're so excited. It's such a great race and such a great season for Camping World. And as you said, we are going to transition into one of our sister companies for next year. But so excited for Brett. Congratulations to all the teams for this year and the other 3 contenders. We're just excited to celebrate with him tonight and then kick off next season with the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series.
Well, thank you, Tamara, for all you do for the series. I know everyone greatly appreciates it. We want to bring another important person over to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and that would be the general manager, Ben Kennedy, taking on a new role this year, no longer behind the wheel. Why don't you kick us off this championship presentation, Ben?
Sure. Brett Moffitt, you have excelled throughout the regular season, especially throughout the playoffs and tonight in the championship race. And we're proud to call you our 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. Congratulations to you and to the Hattori Racing team.
And Brett Moffitt getting the trophy, being able to hoist that for the first time in his career. He is the 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. And Brett, come on over here. Can you put into words as a competitor what this moment is like for you, being able to capture this title?
Not really. I don't think it's sunk in. You know, everything we've battled through this year, just first of all, getting this opportunity late in the off season and parlaying that into a championship is truly amazing. And everything this team's been through and battled through, it just shows how good of people we have here. And I don't think people understand exactly the stresses we went through throughout the season, but everyone kept their head down, worked hard, and made the truck better each week, and whether they knew we were going to the racetrack or not. So it just speaks for everyone here that Shiggy's put together.
And I see an important person to you behind you, your father. What's it mean to you to have all the support of your family, your friends, and kind of experiencing and sharing this moment with you, Brett?
Yeah, I'll tell you afterwards. I don't know. No, it's great that everyone can be here. You know, everyone, there's so many people here down to my left that have meant so much to me in my career, and I certainly wouldn't be where I am without them. And every person's come along in my life at the right time to make things happen, it seems. I've been through a lot of struggles, but this is all worth it.
You mentioned the right people helping you at the time. Shiggy Hattori, your team owner, being one of them. Talk about what it's been like to make this run for the championship for a man like him and the small run organization that is Hattori.
It means a lot. You know, Shiggy Hattori is obviously, I'm guessing, the first Japanese owner to win a championship in NASCAR, which says a lot in its own, and obviously he sees the interest in making this a business and travels back and forth nonstop to Japan working on sponsorship deals and partners for our race team, and no one works harder in the garage than him as far as securing funding, and you know, just to be able to not only win 6 races for him, but to take him home a championship is an honor.
Well, congratulations to you. Enjoy this moment as the new 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. Vince?
Thank you, Caitlin, and so great to see the Hattori Racing team celebrating there in Victory Lane. And as Brett mentioned, Shiggy Hattori has done so much and put forth so much effort. The constant trips back and forth to Japan. I mean, it really is a great story about this small team that has dug deep and tonight reaches the pinnacle.
And for sure, in addition to Shiggy Hattori, all the guys, I mean, it's a small team, as you mentioned. They don't have that many mechanics and people work on these trucks. So those guys had to put in a lot of hours. We mentioned earlier, the general manager, Mike Ricci, didn't even get to go to Phoenix because they had to stay back to help get this truck ready for Homestead. And gosh, it really paid off for them.
You know, and they bounced back from motor to motor. We had some different engine issues in 2018, and they were able to overcome that. They overcome every hurdle that they were faced with, and I just love the passion and the heart of this team and how much Toyota has meant to the truck series. They've really used the truck series to market their brands, and for Brett to be able to drive that Tundra into Victory Lane, and saw a couple of the Toyota executives there in Victory Lane, Bob Carter and Ed Laukus. I know this is a big moment for them because they know what all that team went through to get to this point.
Well, and as Brett Moffitt and company celebrate and raise the trophy and get the pictures taken and the swigs of beer and all the enjoyment that comes along with being a champion. There's the other side as well, the heartbreak, and Hermie Sadler is with one of them.
Well, what a season it was for Justin Haley, especially the second half. You guys raced your way all the way to the brink of a championship, but tonight you finished 8th. What did you not have that you needed with this Chevrolet?
Yeah, we had really good fire-off speed in our Fraternal Orb Eagles GMS Chevrolet. So I don't know, about 7-8 laps into a run, we really pay the price and the tires would go away. So just missed it a little bit on setup, but a heck of a season for everyone at GMS. It's more than I could have asked for. So almost a dream season, but I'm just really proud of everyone. And at Fraternal Orb Eagles for giving me this opportunity, and GMS Racing for developing me and taking me in after a few years in K&N. So it's not what we wanted, but still going to hang our heads high and go to Daytona.
I know the disappointment right now is you're not getting that big trophy, but when everything settles down, what will you take from this season as you move forward in your career?
Yeah, I mean, we built our team and you know, Kevin Belcourt and everyone. We just really built a good team, and I think that really what led to this championship run. So I told everyone at Daytona I just wanted the opportunity in the Final Four, and you just give me a Homestead, I'll try my best. So I'm not the best at banging the boards either. Probably lacked a little bit there. So I'm going to say my best track. So to make a championship run is hard for me, but I'm still really proud of everyone.
This driver and this team turned a lot of heads this year. They end up 8th tonight.
Well, certainly nothing to be ashamed of for Justin Haley or any of the drivers, including Matt Crafton, who had a very solid run tonight inside the top 10. But the celebration belonged to Hattori Racing. Brett Moffitt lifts the trophy as champ. Thanksgiving. Well, Brett Moffitt feasted on him tonight here at the Ford EcoBoost 200. He led a race-high 59 laps en route to the victory, and there was no real challenge late in the race for Gregson. And he just needed to avoid disaster, needed to avoid a late caution, and all of those things happened, and he cruised to victory.
Rarely does it all happen like that in NASCAR. You always have to overcome adversity. Nobody's been better. We've talked about it at overcoming trials and tribulations than this team and Brett Moffitt. So it's kind of fitting that he got to make a little long run to the checkered flag.
What a great battle he had. You mentioned it, lap after lap with Noah Gregson. Finally was able to get by him. And what a terrific call by Scott Zipadelli to bring him to pit road when he did, right after Noah Gregson came to pit road. Remember, he only won this race by about 2 seconds over Grant Enfinger. If he stayed out one more lap, that lap would have been over 2 seconds slower than the lap with new tires. He might not have been here in victory lane.
Back-to-back wins for Moffitt. He won last week at ISM Raceway, and he does it again tonight here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. And you see the fewest starts by a Truck Series champion. Brett Moffitt wins the title in just his 36th Truck Series start.
And remember, Mike Skinner was the very first season, 1995, of the Truck Series. Nobody had any starts prior to 1995.
Moffitt celebrating with the team, and been so many hugs and high fives down there. That's just, I mean, that's the big stage in our Camping World Truck Series, and these guys are truly enjoying it.
Well, and you never get tired of putting on those different hats for the photo, do you?
There's Father Dick putting on his hat. Mom Becky down there.
Let's go back downstairs and hear from another one of our championship contenders tonight with Hermie.
Well, what a season it was for Johnny Sauter, 6 wins, but I know not the result you wanted tonight. What were you guys fighting with this 21?
Grip. I'm actually pretty speechless right now. I hate it for everybody at GMS Racing. They work so hard, and to come down here and lay an egg like we did, just bad deal. But I want to thank ISM Connect, Allegiant Travel, Sunseeker Resort, Chevrolet, Ilmore, Goodyear Tires, everybody that's you know, fought hard all year long. And thank my guys. Obviously, we just missed it tonight. We were way too loose to start, and put a rubber in the left ear, drop the track bar a mile, and doesn't do anything, and do the same adjustment the next time, and just total front grip loss, and then still snapping loose on exit. So I know I'm not a superstar, but tonight was just awful, and I don't know why. But, we worked hard all night long and did the best we could, and congratulations to 16 bunch. They did a great job. That's the way to go out in style, is win the race, win the championship. But, yeah, we struggled.
Not the night the 21 wanted, but great season for Sauter.
It was indeed, Hermie. 6 wins for Johnny Sauter and crew chief Joe Shear Jr. in that 21 bunch this season, equaling the number that Brett Moffitt won. 6 victories for Moffitt this season as well. And for Moffitt, well, it was a pretty uneventful night. I mean, there wasn't a lot of trouble. He qualified well this afternoon, started 5th this evening.
Yeah, dropped back a little bit at the initial start, but then made his way back up towards the front.
It's such a versatile truck. Finished 2nd in that first stage. A versatile truck that he had, Bill. We saw him running the bottom as he does here, passing Noah Gregson. But what a battle these two had for that championship in the middle of this race. The crossover move by Gregson.
And he told us how surprised he was that his truck was so good on the bottom of the racetrack. He said that's not typical of Homestead.
Yeah, the prayers answered for the Moffitt family tonight as Brett Moffitt wins the championship. It's his 7th career win, 6 of those victories coming this season, and we showed you a moment ago, in just 36 starts, Moffitt is the Truck Series champion. What does this mean moving forward, do you think, Mike, for Brett Moffitt?
I think Brett's wondering that exact same thing, Vince, because he doesn't have anything solidified for 2019. He doesn't know where he's going to race. I talked to him yesterday, and he said there's going to be opportunities in the trucks. There's also going to be opportunities in Xfinity. I want to be competitive. I don't want to just take something to drive around in. And so hopefully this will gain some momentum for those conversations, and we can get him behind the wheel of something competitive next year.
It feels like Moffitt is a seasoned veteran, but I mean, he's only 26. I mean, he is a veteran, but he's only 26, still plenty young.
Yeah, he just started back in the K&N series as a teenager and was always very competitive. And, got an opportunity to run a few cup races, was very impressive. Michael, in one of your cars a few times that he got a chance to get in it. And he's one of those guys that maybe has bounced around, but everybody knows if they got an opportunity in good equipment, that he could get the job done.
Yeah, well, and we've seen some drivers get that opportunity this season in a variety of series and capitalize and made well and done well for themselves as you look ahead to the future. But tonight, it's Brett Moffitt sharing those victory hugs as the Camping World Truck Series champ.
November is an exciting month on NASCAR Race Up. We'll celebrate a champion and we'll honor the winners of our Race Up Fans Choice Awards. Lock into FS1 and NASCAR Race Up on Monday, November 26th to see which drivers and crew chiefs will be taking on this year's prestigious Hubby Award that you, the fans, voted on. Don't forget the popcorn. NASCAR Race Up's Fans Choice Awards, Monday, November 26th, 6 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. As you saw, the NASCAR Race Hub Fans Choice Awards coming up on Monday, November 26th, 6 p.m. Eastern on FS1. It's a fun show. They've done a nice job of that.
Sure. It's going to be quite the soiree, too, this Fans Choice Awards show. Going to get all dressed up and celebrate the 2018 fan choices.
Well, and when it comes to biggest wins of the season, you got to put this one right up there because Brett Moffitt came out and we talked about you don't have to win the race to necessarily win the championship, whether it's tonight or tomorrow in the Xfinity or Sunday in the Monster Energy Cup Series. But to control your own destiny, go out and do it and win it. And Moffitt did just that. It's so impressive for Brett Moffitt and company today. Hey, another impressive performance by a couple of rookies. We talked about it during the course of the race. Myatt Snyder and Todd Gilliland in a nice battle for the Rookie of the Year. And Myatt Snyder is the winner of that competition. Myatt Snyder, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rookie of the Year, visiting with Hermie.
Well, we started to see a lot of Myatt Snyder in the 13 truck up towards the front, especially the second half of the season. And you cap off your season with a Rookie of the Year title. Congratulations. What does winning an award like this at this level of NASCAR mean to you?
It's just an awesome honor, honestly. This is the third Rookie of the Year with 2 different manufacturers for Thor Sport Racing. So, I can't say enough about this whole group that I've worked with all year. We've had some good runs, we've had some bad runs, ups and downs for sure. But we've learned as a team, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do in my rookie year. So, I'm just
You know, I'm just so proud of everybody. We've got great partners like Tenda, Louisiana Hot Sauce, Ford Performance, Farm Paint, Carolina Nut Company, all these guys who helped us out and make this year possible. And they just did so much for us. So hopefully we'll be able to run next year and be just as strong, if not stronger, and make the championship floor, hopefully.
What made the difference for you in your race team? Seemed like when you guys started clicking, you started to find yourself up towards the front more and more often. What made the big difference for you as you ended this season this strong?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just my crew chief learned how I drive. You know, us learning which trucks we needed to take to which tracks, because we kind of started with a little bit of a blank slate per se. So yeah, it's just we really learned a lot. We wrote down a lot of notes throughout the year, and I think it definitely showed and paid off. So yeah, we worked really hard, and I think we'll be even faster the next couple, hopefully next year.
That's Mike Snyder. He's the 2018 Camping World Series Rookie of the Year.
And I just love how Myatt Snyder just got better. And that's what a rookie's supposed to do. He's supposed to get better as he learns, as he's congratulated by his dad, Marty, right there. And he did that. He piled up those top 5 finishes, top 10 finishes right towards the end of the year.
You know what I love, Phil? He was second at Talladega, the biggest, fastest track. He was third, top 3 at Martinsville, the littlest track. That shows versatility. That talks about his learning process throughout the year to be that competitive near the end of the season.
The celebration continues for the champ, Brett Moffitt. When we come back, we'll visit with Moffitt about his championship performance. Brett Moffitt celebrating. It's a champagne celebration for Hattori Racing. The race winner and the series champion. The final series champion is the Camping World Truck Series. It'll be the Ganders Outdoor Series next year. So Brett, unconventional of removing the cork there, but
he's double fisting it, man. Got to take measures into your own hands when you're trying to go 2.
Oh, what a trip. It's so fun to see you celebrate, Brett. Congratulations on the championship. What's going through your mind the last couple of laps during that race?
Just that was the longest 12 laps of my life. The spotter was counting it down every lap, and it couldn't get there soon enough. And then I saw a piece of trash in turn 1, and I was like, man, if a caution comes out now, I'm really going to be bummed. But we had a really good icing group Toyota Tundra all day, and it just it shows how hard these guys work. This is the first race that we've, led majority of it or been up front for most of it, and they brought the best piece to Homestead. So I can't thank them enough here at HRE.
Brett, I remember back, you as a teenager, I remember back in 2012, you had an opportunity at Rockingham to win the K&N Championship. You had an issue on the last lap. Was that going through your mind with a lap or 2 to go?
No.
Good.
No.
Good.
No, I'm a different guy today than I was back then, and I'm in different race cars. Same team owner, but a hell of a lot better race cars or trucks, may I say. But these guys, they work so hard, and Scott Zipadelli and the guys gave me a great Tundra today, and it's fun to be able to win like that.
Well, Brett, let me be the first to congratulate you as the first Golf Guys Tour champion in NASCAR. That's got to be a great feeling, but I must ask you a question.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, thank you. You've won in dramatic fashion every race you've won. You had to feel like that caution was going to come because that's the way you've been doing things.
I was praying that it wouldn't. I didn't want any drama here. I just wanted a party.
I love it. And it sounds like you might have some beer back at the bus. You mind if we come over?
Hell yeah, come on.
We're proud of you, buddy.
Hey, you mentioned that, the K&N, you've been with the same team for so long. I know that you and Scott Zipadelli, long relationship. What's it mean to kind of bring it all together and celebrate as champions with the history that you guys have together?
Yeah, I mean, working with Scott every time we get together, it seems to be a successful pairing, and this year was no easy feat on and off the track, and everything we went through, I don't think people understand to the extent of how serious everything was, but these 10 employees we have at HRE full-time, no matter what the circumstance was, they built me race-winning Tundras. Chicago, we didn't know if we were going to the racetrack, and Freight Auction stepped up and got us there, and we got to victory lane at Chicago. So that just shows their determination and their passion, and everyone that Shiggy Hattori's put together, and Scott guides them in the right direction, and it's good to get a championship for them. Otherwise, we had a good year regardless, but championship really puts the exclamation point on it.
Yeah, Brett, I saw your mom and dad in victory lane. I know they were instrumental, obviously, in getting your career started. How cool was it to celebrate with your parents?
I don't think I've even talked to them really yet. We'll get there, though. I mean, they've been so supportive in my career. I don't come from a racing background, but they've been great life coaches all through my life. And at a young age, I probably took it for granted, but now that I'm getting older and a little bit wiser, it's every information they give me is a blessing, and I just can't be thankful enough for what they do for me.
Well, congratulations, Brett. So happy for you. Brett Moffitt is the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champ for 2018. Well done, and that will live in the record books forever. Congratulations.
Congratulations, bud.
Way to go, buddy.
So happy for him and that team. And, you know, like a racer's victory, our television production team is certainly a team effort, that's for sure. So many great professionals behind the scenes make it possible for us, led by our producer, Mark Smith, and our director, Roger Vincent. Up here in the booth with us handling the stats, Roger and Jimmy and Joe, so important to us. Caitlin Vincey, Hermie Sadler, Alan Cavana, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip. I'm Vince Welch. Thanks for being with us this season, and congratulations to the champ.